Evening, everybody. This is 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. I'm Chris Allen, and I'm coming to you a little bit earlier. 6:49 is the current time here on this Monday, October the 6th. I'm coming to you because I want to make sure that for those of you that may be tuning in or around, supper time here and Um, some of you may go to bed a little early. I want to make sure that you had the latest information on the potential for some flooding that may take place during the day tomorrow. Some of the latest data that's coming in is starting to indicate that there is a pretty good possibility that we could get some areas that could pick up a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. Most of this very heavy rain is going to happen during the day tomorrow. And in some cases, it's going to be like a very steady, consistent, persistent, um, heavy rain. The setup here is we've got rich Gulf moisture that has been pushing into the area today. You see things on you see on the radar back here, and I'll show you the radar in a moment. But the radar has been lit up all day, not from lightning and storms, but just from, scattered showers. But they've been fairly persistent. We get little breaks here and there, but it looks like we're going to get a more widespread uh good coverage of rainfall tomorrow, and it's going to be where it's going to come in and stick around for a while, enough falling at once to where we could be looking at some minor flooding in a couple of places and possibly even some flash flooding. So that's the concern. I thought I would go ahead and just get this up and underway and let you know what I'm seeing so that you can prepare. It's all about preparedness because tomorrow, once it starts raining and you guys are at work or wherever you may be going, you may leave work or go somewhere else or try to go somewhere else and you find maybe a flooded road. I mean, it's a possibility. Okay. So let's check it out. I'll start with the numbers from today. And there you go, 76, 10 degrees cooler than we were yesterday for a high temperature. We were at 86 yesterday, but that 76 degrees is right on the normal high temperature for October the 6th. The low was 67. Now, at the airport where I am here in Bowling Green, only 5/100ths of an inch of rain. It doesn't sound like much. It's really not that much. But let me tell you, the caveat here is that we haven't completely added up all the rainfall just yet. That doesn't happen until around midnight. And I've got to think it's going to be more than that. Now, tomorrow, a lot more. So we'll check some of the rainfall totals here in just a moment. Let's go to, first of all, the radar. So here is a look at the radar, the scan that's going by right now. And you can see that majority of the shower activity, the rains, the more persistent, consistent rains, are back here to E Town, Owensboro, even Litchfield to Morgantown, getting some fairly decent rainfall. There's really nothing that's been too heavy today. It's all been um, light to occasionally moderate rain in these little pockets of brief downpours that have happened today. We've not had any lightning or thunder or anything like that. The winds have been a little breezy at times, but there has been really no storminess out of any of this. Now, the moisture feed is just totally coming out of the south. And you can go down and see, um, let me go on down here. Um, this is where we're seeing, like you go into Mississippi, those are storms, a little bit more in the way of storms. We go over to Alabama, and you can see that, yeah, there's some pretty good, well, not intense storms, but there's a lot more thunderstorm activity. Let's go to Mobile's radar, and you can see that. I mean, this moisture plume goes all the way from the Gulf and straight up into Kentucky. And that is why we're seeing so much in the way of rain today. And we're only going to see more as we get into the day tomorrow. So we go back here into Bowling Green. You can see that to our south, there are more showers still yet to come. We'll put some of this into motion here, and you can see how everything is just really coming up, surging from the south, and everything is kind of headed north and northeast. Again, nothing too heavy, but tomorrow we're going to have a cold front meet up with all of this Gulf moisture and then an area of low pressure, and all of that combined is going to set us up for much heavier rainfall. In fact, the rainfall totals continue to go up from what we saw even just yesterday with the chance of rain. Let's look at the outlooks here for, first of all, severe weather outlook. Nah, nothing today. Like we showed you yesterday, these are all just, if there are thunderstorms, they would just be your general garden variety, but we didn't even have that today. There's just not a lot of instability. There was not any sunshine out today. Um, there's a lack of low level jet energy, so yeah, we weren't expecting too much today. Now here's tomorrow, same thing, not much happening, and then as we get into Wednesday, this system will be gone. So severe weather, I'm not really concerned about. There could be a time tomorrow when we may get a little sun breaking through at times, but I'm really not counting on that to be a real issue. Okay. Thunderstorm, just the general thunderstorm risk between now and say 11 o'clock tonight is going to be back west of Bowling Green. And then as we get into, say, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., well, there's a little maybe better opportunity for the entire area. The risk, we're looking at 10% risk overnight. And then this goes to a 40% risk into the morning hours, very early tomorrow. But again, this is not severe thunderstorm risk. This is just your ordinary lightning and thunder. Okay. Now, let's look at excessive rainfall because this is really going to tell us a much bigger story. And this is really what's going to be the big story for tomorrow. And that is the risk of rain. This is, as it says here, excessive rainfall. Okay. This is today or tonight. Okay. And on the scale here, we're talking about a slight risk of some excessive rainfall, but mostly, as you can see, it's west of Interstate 65. But as we get into tomorrow, it covers the entire area. So there is at least a 15% chance or higher that there will be some excessive rainfall tomorrow. And that means anywhere in that yellow shaded area, it's not so much about thunderstorms, it's about heavy rainfall. The potential is there for heavy rainfall that could cause some minor flooding. All right. So we've got to keep that in mind. Here is let's look at this, back it up just a minute. Now, the rainfall amounts. Now, between now and say this time tomorrow around 7 p.m., as it's just now 7 p.m. So those of you that are just now joining me live here at 270 Weather, just giving you a kind of a blow by blow detail about what I think is going to happen with the cold front coming in tomorrow and the enhanced rainfall. So here we go. You look at this and you can tell where the setup is for the better rainfall, and it's right over the Bowling Green area. If you look at the scale here at the top of the screen, we're looking at the possibility of up to 3 or possibly even 4 inches of rain in the next 24 hours. That is I mean, that's a lot of rain. Now, when this thing gets set up and gets going, what's going to happen is the cold front to the west meets up with the moisture that's in place that we've had all day today, that's straight out of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's enhanced moisture. It is very ample moisture. It's the first time in a long time that we've had this particular kind of setup. Not even a week and a half or two ago did we have this kind of setup. This is going to happen pretty rapidly, pretty quickly, instead of spread out over several days. And therefore, even though we're not under a flood watch, there may be some instance where we see some flooded roadways, some creeks and streams coming out of their bank full tomorrow, there could be some roads flooded. Definitely, there's going to be standing water and little ponding of water on the roadways across much of the 270 and especially southern Kentucky here in the Bowling Green area. So when we're talking 3 to 4 inches of rain, it's going to come down hard and it's going to come down fast. That's the concern. Let's go to day 2, which would take in Tuesday, mostly Tuesday evening into early Wednesday. The front comes through and starts to push the rain out of the way. And there you see maybe an additional 3/10 to a half inch of rain. The half inch is the blue. And most of the heavier rain then will push off into central and eastern Kentucky. And then as we get into Thursday, from Wednesday into Thursday, not much there. All of that will then be gone. Here is the multi-day outlook. So here is your day 1 to 2. That's today and tomorrow put together. We're looking at, again, some 3 to 5 inches of rain. That's counting what we pick up today, tonight, and pretty much all day tomorrow. Let's do days 1 to 3, and this would take into account through Thursday. You see nothing changes. That's because after Wednesday, there's no more rain in the forecast. Once this cold front comes through, the rain shuts off and we'll have another dry spell starting really Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, there's not really any rain after this comes through tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, I mean, but the good news is we're going to get enough rain to where we're not going to worry so much about the drought. This is going to put a big dent in the drought, by the way. Of course, we won't get the new drought update until Thursday, but the rain that's coming in tomorrow, as you see here, a lot of rain, it's going to put a major dent in the drought. So here is this is right now. Well, this shows 6 p.m., but it's 7 o'clock now. And we're just now, starting to enter that blue shaded area, which is starting to get some half-inch amounts. And you can see the majority of the heavier rain has been back to our west, where they've had, you know, 3/10 to a half inch of rain. Let's go to midnight. We start to go into tomorrow. 6 hour span. This would be between 6 p.m. and midnight. We're going to start to see some higher amounts of rain taking over. And then as we get into 6 a.m. tomorrow, then noontime, I think this needs to be probably adjusted. Yeah. Okay. So I see what they've done here. They split it up in the day two. So this would be day two. That would be tomorrow, 6 p.m. into Wednesday, 12 a.m. Yeah, after midnight. Okay, got it now. So this is some new stuff, and I'm just kind of experimenting with trying to figure this out, but how they split all this up. But yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive how this setup is going to be for rainfall. Uh the drought situation, here it is. And this doesn't change until Thursday. So you see that we're pretty much in the moderate drought. Bowling Green, much of the area, moderate drought. But then you've got this kind of gold shaded area to our south and southwest. That is severe drought, as it shows up here on the color bar. So while this was improved, as you'll recall last week, I think with this rain coming in tomorrow, what we got today and then tomorrow, this is going to be, I think it's going to take a major dent. It's going to put a major dent in the drought situation. At least I'm hoping that is the case. All right. Now let's go on to, let's show a model here. This is the, um, what's called the composite reflectivity of the HRRR model. This is a high resolution rapid refresh. Therefore, the HRRR or HRRR, or some people call it the HER. It's going to show the next few hours what it thinks the radar is going to look like. So it's loading it up now, and as we go through now 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, 2 a.m., you can see it stays pretty consistent with the possibility of showers still coming through the area as we go through the night. It is just going to be one wave pretty much after the other. Let's go to the NAM, the North American model, and I will go to the composite reflectivity. And again, I'll put this is comparing models. This is the NAM, North American model. And we'll put this into motion. You can watch the time down here in the left bottom corner. Here we go. Whoops. Here we go, 11. And then we go, this is kind of back time here, but you can see that the model is consistently showing that we're going to continue to get rain until we get. Now, this one goes out a little bit further than the HRRR. So here we are, 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock overnight tonight, then 10 o'clock in the morning. The heaviest rain comes through, then midday, the cold front comes through, and then we start to go into Wednesday or Tuesday night into Wednesday. Most of the rain is going to be gone. So just giving you a little idea of comparing the different models and what the models are thinking and what they're showing. Yeah, it's it's looking pretty consistent. So we got a lot of rain coming, and it's going to continue to come through as we go through time. All right. Now let's go. I'm going to go up and we'll change here and go to the Kentucky Mesonet, and we'll check some of the conditions there as of 7:10. And here you see most everybody, thanks to the clouds and the rain today, are in the 60s. Lots of 60s all across the area. And that is, again, like I said, it's because of the rain. So most of us only made it into the 70s today. In fact, the prediction was we would get close to 80. We didn't make it. I mean, the high temperature was 76 officially here at the airport. And as you can see, most of you only made it into the mid 70s. These are high temperatures today at each of the Kentucky Mesonet stations. Let's check rainfall. Let's go since midnight. Okay. So this is since midnight. Let's see if it changes much between midnight and past 24 hours. No. Okay. So the highest amounts that I see are right here in parts of Christian, Trigg, and Todd counties. 1.13 in Elkton in Todd County, just a little bit over an inch in Hopkinsville in Christian County, and then 9/10 of an inch of rain in Cadiz in Trigg County. Around us, half-inch amounts, 3/10, almost a half inch up in Litchfield, almost 4/10 of an inch of rain in Morgantown, Butler County. Here in Bowling Green, anywhere from 2/10 to a little bit over 1/10 of an inch. Lesser amounts out to the east, but your turn is coming. Certainly during the day tomorrow and or even late tonight, you're going to get your turn with measurable rainfall. There is a 72/100 of an inch of rain, almost 3/4 of an inch of rain at the Kentucky Mesonet site up in Campbellsville or near Campbellsville. Yeah. So there you go. Winds right now are coming out of the east and southeast, and they've been that way pretty much all day. We did have some gusts earlier at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and that was expected, though. So it was a little breezy at times today. Now it's not so much. Overnight tonight, if we do happen to get maybe a thunderstorm, there could be, something that ramps up the wind. But again, I'm not expecting severe weather out of any of this. Here is let me see if I can get this to come up. Maybe, I don't know. Can we see that? Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is from the National Weather Service in Louisville. This is, and I was just showing you that on radar, the excessive rainfall potential. Here it is through 8 a.m. You got a level 1 and a level 2. Now, the level 1 risk is where on this, it's a marginal risk, not a very high risk. This is where those of you east of Interstate 65 tonight through 8 a.m. tomorrow will see some rain, but nothing excessive. It's the level 2 west of Interstate 65 tonight that will pick up that higher risk of getting heavy rain. And then, of course, the level 2 slides right over Bowling Green and much of the 270 area, even over in the 606 and the 502. We'll start to get some of that heavier rain during the day tomorrow. So it's coming. And it's going to be a lot of rain. A lot of rain. It's been a while since I've said a lot of rain. It's been too long, actually. All right, let's go to let me show you this because it's a map that you're used to seeing. Remember, we would look at this map, this graphic, and say, wow, look at the white. There's no color over Kentucky with rainfall, but look at it now. Look at that. Bullseye, Kentucky, and not just Kentucky, but Southern Kentucky. And there is your 3 to 4 inch possibility, even close to 5 inch possibility of rain from today, tonight, through tomorrow. If we get that, there is going to be some flooding somewhere, either a flooded road or flooded creek or stream. There's going to be an issue because it's all going to come down hard during the day tomorrow. Get ready for it. Now, let's move on to the surface map and go through day by day, starting with right now. Here comes our first wave of rain that we've had today. Here's our low pressure system and the cold front. Here is overnight tonight, very early tomorrow morning after midnight, rain, maybe even a rumble of thunder, but nothing severe. Rainfall gets enhanced tomorrow because the Gulf moisture then interacts with this cold front and this area of low pressure. All of this working together will enhance the rainfall for tomorrow and cause heavy rain and some minor flooding to continue. Here we are, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, still raining hard. Here we are, 7 o'clock, 24 hours from now, Tuesday evening. The cold front will be making its way through the area. Still some heavy rain, especially along and east of Interstate 65. Here we go into Wednesday morning. Let's see if I can get that to reload. Yeah, Wednesday morning, the front then is east of us, and the rains begin to taper off. Here we go into Wednesday evening, into Thursday, Friday. Little inverted trough there, disturbance. I don't think it's going to be any big deal. Saturday, quiet, dry. Sunday, continued dry. And then Monday, we do see the next system that tries to work in here. And there's a possibility that, say, Monday night into Tuesday next week, we could be looking at more rain in the area. How about the viewer, the model viewer, what is referred to as the model blender for temperatures? We'll check it out. How about only mid 70s tomorrow, kind of like today, then low 70s on Wednesday? Then look at that. We go from This is the cold front coming through on Wednesday. We go from 73 to 48 on Wednesday night. Clearing skies. Nice. Chilly. Yeah, I can use the word chilly on this one. Then only near 70 on Thursday. There will be some of you on Thursday that won't make it out of the upper 60s. How about that? Then back to 48 Thursday night, then 75 Friday, and you see, upper 40s, low 50s for lows, mid to upper 70s for highs, maybe an 80, 81 for next Tuesday, Wednesday, but I mean, these temperatures are just perfect. What you're seeing here is real October weather, real fall like October weather, finally, with those temperatures. I hope you're planning on taking advantage of that because it's going to be real nice. I mean, all of that it's a lot. I get it. 30 minutes I've just spent talking about this, but it's a lot of information. But I wanted you to know that even though we're not under any kind of flood watch, tomorrow, once this enhanced rainfall, the excessive rainfall starts to happen, that it could come pretty quickly and start to pile up pretty quickly. And there is that possibility of a short fuse flood warning, or maybe a flash flood warning, or even kind of a condensed flash flood watch, and then a couple of warnings, river flood warnings, and things like that, that might happen depending on where these bands of very heavy rainfall start to set up. Now, what I showed you is just a forecast and what could happen and where it could happen. But once it starts to happen, it could happen very rapidly. That's what I want you to know. The takeaway from this is that once it starts raining tomorrow, it could happen very quickly. And before you know it, the road you live on is flooded, or there's a creek or stream that's flooded within a matter of an hour or maybe even minutes. That's how hard the rain is going to fall in a few places tomorrow. All right. So I just want you to get ready for that and not be surprised by it. Really forget about severe weather, thunderstorm, tornadoes. There's going to be a few storms, rumbles of thunder, flashes of lightning. But severe weather, no. I don't think there's going to be any of that. We're going to keep it cloudy. Therefore, the instability levels will be down. There will be enough instability and enough dynamic in the atmosphere, not even dynamic. That's not the right word, but there will be enough instability in the atmosphere for thunder, lightning. But the number one thing to watch for tomorrow: flooding, rainfall, heavy, drenching downpours of rain. And it could come down so hard that it hampers your visibility while you're driving. Your wipers may not be able to keep up with it. It's going to come down that hard. And we're going to start to see water piling up quickly. Half inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, I mean, it could just accumulate very rapidly. That's the thing I want you to take away from this update. So I wanted to get on here early enough and get you prepared in case you're getting ready to go to bed and you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, when you're thinking about how this water could pile up, there could be, with the high water, there could be maybe some power outages. It's a possibility. I mean, if you get enough water into a substation, it's a possibility. Because of the rapid rainfall, and there could be a lightning strike that takes out something. I mean, it's a possibility tomorrow. So I want you to think about R&R controls because while you may not be at this moment concerned about HVAC services, your heating and cooling right this moment, they also offer generator services. Do you have a backup generator at your house just in case your power goes off? If you don't, then you need to contact R&R and have them come out and get you set up. Or if you have a generator and it's been a while since you've had it serviced, you need to call R&R and have them come out and take a look. 270-777-2024. That's the number to call. 270-777-2024. Because with R&R controls, whether it's heating, whether it's cooling, whether it's generators, you'll never be without. And tomorrow, when we get that heavy rain and power goes out, if you've got a generator, you're going to have backup. But if you don't have one, you're going to be without electricity. It's kind of late now to call R&R. I don't think they could have one installed that quickly before the rains hit. But listen, this is not going to be the first bit of bad weather that's going to come in the next few weeks and months. So you might as well call all R&R and just set up a time with them where they can come out, take a look at what you've got, whether it's a home or a business, and they can set you up with something. Don't forget, you can subscribe to 270 Weather for just $1.99 a month. You get some extra things if you're a subscriber. You scan the QR code, and for that $1.99 a month, you get my weekly weather preview, which is called the Flash Forecast. Many of you got that for the first time yesterday. I do it on Sundays. You got it for the first time yesterday, and now you get something that nobody else gets unless they subscribe to 270 Weather. And there's some other things coming down the road that you will always get, or you will get as a subscriber to 270 Weather. So there you go. Okay. I've talked long enough, almost 40 minutes worth of information here, and I know it's a lot, but I wanted to, this is the first time we've had this specific kind of weather that may raise some red flags tomorrow on flooding, that I wanted you to be alert to it. It's coming. And so we've got to be ready for it. You got to be careful with driving around tomorrow. Flooded roads are going to happen. I think that is pretty much a 100% possibility. Okay, have a great evening. Thank you, as always, for watching 270 Weather. I will be on your TV tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. on News 40 Sunrise, CBS and NBC 40, WNKY, then again at 9, and then again at noon tomorrow with live updates and a complete look at radar forecast and all of that to see how this day is going to shake out. I do think we're going to see some, flood warnings and flash flood warnings and things like that that are going to happen tomorrow. And we may start to hear about some flooded roadways. So just keep that in mind. Have a great evening tonight. Enjoy the rain on the roof. Have a great evening. Thanks.